Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is HD StarCraft, and I'm here to bring you guys In.Control and Ver from the GameCom FaceOff Showmatch, and we're going to find out right now who is going to stack some G's on it. I don't even know if that's a rap song. I think that is. But this should be pretty interesting. Ver, as the blue Terran at the top right, he is the sexy beast Terran, as voted by the community, got placed in front of Whitera. Do you know how much effort that takes to be able to be voted ahead of Whitera, man? When Whitera appears in a poll, by default Whitera wins. Okay, so for the community to say, you know what, this time we're just gonna have a little bit of fun and let's vote Ver to the top, that is some serious fanboyism right there. And I'm a fanboy of Ver, man. He's a cool guy, very good Terran, and actually had the pleasure of watching him play live before, sitting right behind his chair at an MLG I think last year. So very good Terran. If you ever had to look at the physical profile though of Ver and In.Control, it's so different, because In.Control, you know, he's a big guy. He's, you know, he's actually really big, but you know, he's in shape. He's a very talented Protoss, outspoken in the community. Love him. He's very funny. But if you compare him to the physical physique of Ver, Ver's kind of like a small kid, you know, really small, a little scrawny, I guess. Typical, you know, little nerdling. It's pretty funny watching the two guys, because they're so different physically, and you'd think, you know, In.Control would just kind of like boss him around, but, you know, Ver just kind of smoked him up in the last game, and is just one step closer now to $1,000. And I guess at the end of the day, who's the real boss, man? The one who's bigger, or the one who's got $1,000 in his pocket and can hire a bodyguard? I might be just rambling on a little bit too much right now. Not, you know, I'm just joking around, guys, just kind of having my troll moments because it's fun. We'll see what happens here in this game. The map is Daybreak, and Ver here building a barracks at the front door. In.Control already has his probe coming in, just checking the scene out. It was annoying for a little bit, but he didn't take any permanent damage on the probe, nor did he kill off any SCVs, so he didn't do anything too serious. And Ver now sends out a scouting SCV of his own across the map, as In.Control looks to get the cybernetics core and one gas. And, you know, this is pretty common. I've said this before in Terran versus Protoss. It's the matchup where you will see a lot of build-up in the beginning, even more build-up, in fact, than I think than TVT. Because if you really get down to it, there really isn't too many opening cheeses in Terran versus Protoss, as much as I think there are in, say, TVZ or ZVP, you know? ZVP, you can have the Baneling Roach at the front door, you can have the Stefano Max Roach Aggression. In fact, ZVP nowadays is like the shortest matchup. I think most would agree with me on that, because of the high octane aggression from Zerg, and then how Protoss try to counter build you and blind counters. So it's pretty crazy. It's TVP though, very stable. You know, it's always been kind of the same with that big build up on two bases, and that's what we're seeing here. First, getting the command center on the low ground, already has some Marines attacking the neutral supply depot. And you know, you might be wondering, well, why kill off the neutral depots? It just kind of is nice to kill off, because then you can wall off with different buildings or build something else there, instead of having it jacked by a non-existent landlord. But here we go. Here comes a Zealot from In.Control, and the first heat of the day, I guess we'll see. That Zealot might look to cancel the bunker, or no, it will not, because there's already 4 Marines there. And, you know, when you see 4 Marines, you don't really want to handle that with just a single Zealot, but when you get a Stalker for support, that's when you can go in there and fight. And nice control by In.Control, who's always in control. No pun intended. And he's going to come in with a Stalker here, takes a pot shot on the Marine, kills it off. Nice job. And this is the really annoying thing in the beginning. Until you can get a bunker up as Terran, that Stalker can annoy you all day long, because they have longer range than a Marine. And in the hands of a really competent Protoss, you have to build a bunker, I think, at the front door. Especially not just for the Stalker harass, but also because a Protoss can come at you with so many types of aggressive plays. You need to make sure you've got bunkers at the front. I know a lot of Terrans who even say, screw it, build 2 or 3, why not? It's the only building in the Terran building catalog that lets you salvage it. You know, it's the only one where you can call back the operator and say, look, I want to return this. And so yeah, why not? Build some more bunkers. It's always safe and it's nice to have. Looks like an SCV still inside the main base of In.Control. It's just scooting around here and trying to see what else it can see. There is 2 more gateways coming up. Looks certainly like In.Control is going to go for the Robo build again. 3-gate Robo, that is. Not fast robotics facility, but will probably be coming up after the second and third gateways come close to finishing. And we'll just keep our eyes on that. Meanwhile, there's a pylon coming up just outside the Terran Natural. This is underneath the little doodad, and I wonder if In.Control is just building up pylons now around the map to have map presence, or if he's planning some type of attack. And because he's just now starting his double forge, I don't think he's going to plan an attack for some time. He's probably looking to just get upgrades and have pylons around the map for map control. At the same time, Ver adding on the 4th gas here, really gassing up quite heavily. And we should see him start to spew out those upgrades, the stim pack, the combat shields, probably see +1 at the very least. And he's also starting to get his starport out for medevac control. There goes the comsat coming down as well. Checks it out and sees that there are 3 sentries at the front door that are starting to build up some energy. But no big threat right now from In.Control, who is getting +1/+1, but he's adding on the Twilight Council as well. So he's really just looking to round out his army. Notice how he's building up a lot of pylons around the map right now. This is something that really good Protoss do. They don't just build pylons in their base, man. For 100 minerals only, build them everywhere. And we can see, In.Control's got 2 right now on the map, which is, it's good. It's good to have good map control. You can attack and harass at any point you please. And so it looks like he will most likely be going for the standard Charge Lot Archon style, which is pretty much the, I would say, most conventional way to play against Terrans these days. You get the double forge, you get a bunch of upgrades going, you get a million charge lots and Archons out, and eventually you kind of start to play around with having some Colossus as well. But in the beginning, you get charge lots, you get Archons, you supplement your AoE for Storm instead of Colossus. And so we can see Templar Archives coming right now, and a 4th through 6th gate on the way as well. Now, a lot of times Protoss will choose to go for a timing attack once +1/+1 finishes and charge finishes as well. And they try to attack so that they can harass the Terran's 3rd or keep the Terran on 2 bases while they grab their 3rd Nexus. And I think that's what we're seeing In.Control do right here. He's starting to move out, and of course he's making use of his early game sentries, which this time have not been harassed at all. Also note, he's still got those pylons up, which allow him to reinforce this attack position as well. So he's got charge about to finish up here. It's still about 60 seconds away, so I don't know if In.Control's going to go in now without charge. He's actually bringing in Templar as well, but he doesn't have Storm yet. His timing here is just about a minute until it's going to be ready to go, but at the same time, Ver says, you know what, I'm just going to drop into your base again. This is what got me the win last time, and we'll see if it does it again, man. He's dropping in with Marines and Marauders, and In.Control out of position, doesn't have anything back at home. Wow, how did this medevac get in here without any response from In.Control, who's lost a pylon powering 2/6 of his gateways, and he can't lose the Nexus as well. Oh my god, the Nexus goes down. That's the 2nd time in this series that's happened. And Ver, just like that, I don't care if these Marines and Marauders die. I don't care if the medevacs die. I just dropped your Nexus and killed it. And okay, he's still going to get out with some of his forces intact anyway, so he can drop once again, he can bring those back and recombine them with the rest of his army. But just like that, man, Ver took a big step ahead in this game. And I don't know how In.Control didn't spot that medevac, because his pylons were also in decent positions to spot medevacs inbound as well. Perhaps Ver just took very good care to avoid the pylons, or perhaps In.Control didn't notice it, but he just took some serious damage. And now at this point, I wonder, is he just going to go all in? He's still got a very powerful army of charge lots of +1/+1, excuse me, 2/2 about to finish up here. And, he hasn't lost any of his army at all, so he's going for the all-out counter, but to his dismay, there is no 3rd command center here. The Terran is still on 2 bases, and he is bunkering up like mad right now. Ver is so intelligent. He knows that he doesn't need to grab the 3rd yet. Most Terrans would grab the 3rd right now, but because he's put In.Control down a base, he can just stay on 2 bases, and he will still have that lead, so he's playing so safe. Look at this wall, man. This is not just tight against In.Control, it's not tight against Protoss, it is Zerg-proof. So here we go, it looks like In.Control goes in, gets a couple decent force fields down, nice feedbacks on the medevac, so they won't have energy now, and In.Control doing what he can at the front door, but I don't see him punching through. I just don't see it happening, not with the supply depots the way they're laid out. Like I said, if it's Zerg-proof, man, it sure as hell is going to be Protoss-proof. And In.Control realizes there's no way he's busting through. They're going to lose Templars in the middle of the map as well. Oh, this is just getting salty for In.Control, man. He's trying to establish a third Nexus. He already rebuilt the one inside the main base. So now it comes down to if he can hold off this attack, if he can secure this third Nexus, then he might actually be able to climb back up into this game. He hasn't lost much of his army. I guess the 2 Templars were pretty painful, but he hasn't lost his sentries or anything like that. So he's got enough force field here, I think, to hold off this attack, but the problem is he's given up all map control. He's just clumped up inside his base right now, but he is going to move out. He knows he can't stay inside his base forever. He needs to be careful. I don't know what happened to the Nexus out here. What? Why did In.Control cancel it? Oh, I'm really confused right now. I don't know why In.Control would cancel that to just 1 Marine. Must have missed something that happened up there, but In.Control canceled the Nexus at the top left-hand corner, so now he's once again pigeonholed into having one last base in his opponent. Ver here comes in and uses the medevac as a distraction to take out another Nexus, and In.Control is just falling apart right now. Ver is having his way with him, and it certainly looks like In.Control is just going to have to go all in here. He doesn't have time to get Colossus out. He might wait for +3 armor, but I would argue, you know, while you're pushing out +3 armor will finish up. I wouldn't even try to rebuild the Nexus at this point. Just try to go for an all-in counterattack. But he's going in one at a time, and this is not what you want to do. He needs to go in with his entire army. He is forcing the Terran to retreat right now, but it is pretty bleak situation. Meanwhile, it looks like he got a couple of Zealots behind the 3rd orbital and got a decent amount of SCV kills. 8 SCV kills for In.Control there. 4 on each of those Zealots. So there he goes. One of the pylons coming in to handy-dandy use for the Protoss player, but he didn't kill off the base. That's the difference, you know. Killing off SCVs against Terran, it's nice, but remember, they can drop mules. And if you've already lost Nexuses, you gotta take out a command center. Trade eye for an eye. Meanwhile, it looks like Ver still dropping inside the Protoss main. Killed off the Nexus again. Now going after the pylons, and this is pretty salty for In.Control, man. It looks like Ver is gonna stack a G on his bankroll and take it to the house. Because at this point, I don't see how in the hell In.Control is going to be able to handle, as he would call it, the Space Marines. The Space Marines have come out, and I think this is pretty much a foregone conclusion at this point. There's even personal cloaking on the way to deal with the Templar. Nice force fields, but I don't even know if he has enough firepower to bust through the Marines and Marauders. 1-2 are the upgrades compared to In.Control at 3-2. He's still got better upgrades, but not the best position as he's flanked from all sides. And tons of medevacs in the air. Not one medevac in this game, I don't think, has died so far. Some got feedback, but they've been staying alive. Very good control by Ver, keeping the medevacs out of the storm, and just getting very cost efficient. You know, he can lose Marines here. He can afford to lose like the entire half of his army, and he would still be winning this game. It is 89 supply to 133, and Ver is just running the house right now. Meanwhile, In.Control coming in with these Zealots once again to the bottom right, trying to get some harass in against that orbital command, but this time Ver's totally prepared for it, has Marines in the position he needs to be in to defend against that type of attack. And it looks like the pylon is going to go down as well, so we won't be seeing much more attacks made against this orbital command location. Let's just take a look at the workers kill tab. It is 6 to 12, and you know, every department once again definitely not in In.Control's favor. So I guess he hasn't quite given up yet, but I might imagine this is going to be one last hurrah from him. You know, I guess he is trying to reclaim the next side every possible base, but it's just so bleak, man. You're down, you've lost your Nexus twice this game, you're down 62 supply. I'm trying to figure out right now, you know, I'm trying to think, what can In.Control do to win this game right now? And the only thing that comes to mind is getting like 3 Colossus on the map now, because there's no Vikings, it's just a bunch of ghosts, obviously. Ghosts aren't so great against Colossus, but I don't even see how he can afford it. He just got all EMP'd to hell. And there's a nuclear missile on the way as well. Nice surround by In.Control despite getting EMP'd, but there's a bunch of cloaked ghosts assassinating his zealots, and that is it for In.Control. Realizes he cannot stand the heat, and Ver is going to take the first victory here in the GameCom FaceOff Showmatch. I hope you guys enjoyed this cast, and had a lot of fun casting it. If you guys enjoy it, make sure to check me out. I am on YouTube/HDStarcraft, where you guys can find more StarCraft 2 commentaries there. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next cast. This is HD, signing out. Big what's up to the guys out there on the stream, and a big thank you to the viewers as well as the guys at GameCom Plantronics. See you guys.